Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to jump into Unearthed Arcana, and we're going to look at an interesting cloak that I have given out once or twice. The Cloak of the Bat. Dun 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 dun. Cloak of the Bat. Fashion of dark brown or black cloth, a cloak of this type is not readily noticeable as unusual. It will radiate both enchantment and alteration in equal proportions. The cloak bestows upon its wearer a 90% chance of being invisible, when the wearer is stationary within a shadowy or dark place. The wearer is able to hang upside down from the ceiling just as does a bat and maintain the same chance of invisibility. By holding the edges of the garment, the wearer can fly up to 15-inch speed, movement class B. If so desired, the wearer can actually transform into an ordinary bat. All possessions worn or carried out will be likewise part of the transformation and fly accordingly. Flying, either with the cloak or as an ordinary bat, can only be accomplished in darkness, either under night sky or in a lightless or near lightless environment underground. Either the flying powers is usable for up to 1 hour at a time, but after a flight, either type, of any duration, the cloak will not bestow any flying power for a like period of time. The cloak also provides protection, just as a robe of protection, at +2, and this benefit extends to the wearer even when he or she is in bat form. That's pretty good cloak. I've given out a few of these. In fact, I gave one out to a fighter in our group, and he did a whole Batman theme for a while. He became the Night Stalker and lurked in all kinds of fun stuff. He had a lot of fun with it, kind of defined the character for a period of time. But if you take a look at this, you have 90% chance of being basically invisible in a shadowy or dark place while wearing the cloak, because you're able to pull the cloak up around you and it kind of turns you invisible in the darkness. And you can hang upside down from the ceiling just as a bat does and maintain the same chance of invisibility. It doesn't say how you get up there. Do you fly up there, or are you using spider climb, or does the cloak allow you to get to that position? The player asked me that, and I actually allowed him, if he could get his feet up to the ceiling, he could stick to the ceiling and hang upside down like a bat. That was just kind of a goofy ruling at the table. We'd been having some fun and joking and stuff. But he liked it, and he stayed with it. He found different ways to get his feet up to ceilings, and he'd hang upside down. And then eventually he got a ring of spider climbing, or boots of spider climbing, sorry. And he was able to just go up there and hang upside down and use the invisibility. It was pretty neat. As far as the flight goes, yes, he would go up to a tall tower at night and leap off the tower a la Batman and then just fly using the cloak. Or he'd turn into a bat to infiltrate an enemy camp or something as a bat. And then the quiet part of this is it gives you +2 protection as a robe of protection. At +2, and the benefits extend even if you're in bat form. I took that to mean that it's +2 as a cloak of protection, and I also give the +2 to saving throws for wearing the cloak. So that's kind of neat. I also let it stack with rings of protection. So you could have a +2 ring and a +2 cloak, or the cloak of the bat rather, and it acts as a +2 robe. So now you suddenly have +40 your armor class because they stack. I treat that in all respects at my table exactly as if it were a cloak or robe of protection. So, and then the upside down travel, or the upside down hanging, has saved my player a couple of times. He was able to kind of scurry up to the ceiling and stay there invisibly, and the monsters came into a room and were looking for him, and he just kind of stayed there and snickered at them as they wandered around looking for him. I am strict about the darkness, but only in that if it's nighttime and you fly into a lit area, I still allow the cloak to work. I take the cloak as more of a time thing than a light thing. That's just a ruling at my table. I absolutely could understand people that would rule another way, and they would say, well, wait a minute. He's flown into an area of continual light, therefore the flight won't work, therefore he can't fly anymore. You can fly up to an hour at a time, but after the flight, either as the bat or as the cloak wearing guy, then the flight won't work for a like amount of time. So if I flew for half an hour in either form, then the flight aspect of my cloak will not work, but the invisibility and the +2 protection will work. Very good item, very deceptively powerful. I don't usually give this out much before 7th or 8th level. It can really shape a character, and it can overwhelm a lower campaign because of the flight pretty much at will that this gives. even though you have to rest between and things like that. It's still got enough power that it's pretty potent, and I would not give it out much below 7th or 8th level. Around 7th level, your druid is starting to shape change. Your MU's already had the fly spell for a couple levels, so it's not as big a deal as it would have been earlier. And then the 90% invisibility in darkness, keep in mind that would include dungeons too, and it's invisibility. So again, even if somebody with a torch walked by or a continual light, in my mind, because it's happening in the dungeon and it started in near darkness, even though the darkness goes away, I'd still allow the invisibility to stay. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there screaming at their TVs that that's not how it works, and you're right, but it's how I would do it at my table, simply because it's a bit of a penalty to have the guy hiding and waiting for the bad guys to come in. The bad guys come in with a couple of torches, and then they say, hey, who's that crouched over in the corner there? So it's just how I do it. By 3rd level MU, you're already casting invisibility. If you get the spell, you can cast it if you have it memorized. And I don't think it's that big a game changer for that, especially, again, if you're not giving this out till 7th or 8th level. By that point, invisibility in some games can become pretty common, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a deal breaker. Let's take a quick look at how many experience points you get for the fine Cloak of the Bat. I've never received this magic item. Interestingly, I don't have any players that have it. Cloak of the Bat is worth 1,500 experience points, which I think is low. I think the Cloak is much better than that. But that's what the book says. That's what I give. So let me know what you think, what you've done with this particular Cloak. Have you given it out in your campaign before? And if so, has it caused problems, or has it been a lot of fun? When I had the player playing Batman, we had a ton of fun with that. He was even adopting kind of a Bruce Wayne type of secret identity, and he really went all in on it. Not that he had a secret identity per se, but he just kind of went in all in with the whole Batman thing. So it was a lot of fun. But let me know what you think. If you've given this item out and you've had some trouble with it, or maybe it's been really good, or maybe 7th level is just too darn low and you don't give it out to about 10th level. Let me know what you think. But please take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there if you can. Please like and subscribe. Help the channel continue to grow. Tell your friends, and I'll see you next time on page 121.